getting a lot of questions lately. It is quite a disturbing trend in research scholars that they have to juggle so much. There is so much happening in your life. Today, I wish to address it. Circumstance that you are in. Okay, how much ever motivation which is there, it will not be sufficient, to be honest. But I do want to address certain things that I have learned from my PhD somewhere or somebody can find it useful. I find a lot of scholars struggling with focus. Supervisor issues there, money issues there. There could be some issues on personal front. Your colleagues might be creating issues. There could be a lack of resources. We will try to address each of these one by one. This video is definitely not an advice video. This video is a perspective video. I will give different perspectives to the situations you are in so you can pick and choose if it works for you or no. I have put this as a motivation video, but I think you are well capable of motivating your own self. What I have seen, that I'm going to tell you. I'm running this channel for straight 5 years. This is my 5th year, by the way. There is a trend that I have observed in research scholars. The same problems, the same circumstances. Today, I wish to speak about that. Before I go into the solution part or giving you different perspectives, let me first speak about this curve that you are seeing on the screen, no? And what it basically tells you is how your body and your mind reacts once it is under stress. So here arousal means you can take it as a stress cue. So as the stress increases, you will find an optimum performance. But beyond that, if it increases, then it is obvious that the performance decline. And I'll tell you why it happens. Whenever our body is through stress and the mind is under stress, obviously it starts to remove energy from other things. So if you are aiming at a peak performance, then for some time you will get. But if the stress goes beyond that, the body focuses on survival mode. And when you are in survival mode, it is obvious through evolutionary history also, you cannot, because the focus of your entire being is on survival. And till you are in survival mode, you won't be able to thrive. You will be able to manage things, but you won't be able to thrive. One burden that research scholars carry is that they are answerable to others. Was doing my PhD, I had few colleagues. They used to keep asking me, "Are you going for this event? Are you attending this? Are you doing this?" Initially, I found it weird because as an assistant professor, I was not used to dealing with these kinds of comments. They are not harmful, but my thing is, it's none of your business. Your PhD is none of anyone's business. When you finish it, what is the difficulty? What are the different problems that you have? That ultimately you have to deal on your own. When you are dealing everything on your own, others have no say in it. Scholars carry this pressure that they are answerable to someone, that they have to work according to someone. At the end of the day, you are giving the result, you will get your publication, you will get your degree. Even supervisors need research scholars for them to advance in their own career. So please don't be under this pressure that you are working under somebody, you are answerable to somebody. With respect to results, yes, that is not your sole identity. That is what I'm saying. Neither you are doing any favor by doing a PhD, because ultimately you are doing it for your own employment. And 90% of the scholars do it to get a good job, to get a good standing with respect to your own career, because of your own walls around you. Somewhere there is a need to break that. When my colleagues used to ask that, initially I used to answer, but then I realized, hey, I'm not answerable to anyone regarding where I'm going. When you are in a position where you don't have any position, okay, especially with research scholars, any information that you give about yourself has the potential to turn against you. Converse with people who are at your level. And if somebody tries to sneak in or peek in or do all these things, start distancing yourself, even go to the extent of blocking them on WhatsApp. The second thing that research scholars do, relying on your workspace to give you emotional validation. Okay? And this is a big realization that I realized in my first year itself. When you are in a course such as PhD, very few things are in your control. In such a situation, what do? You are not going to rely on what somebody says in your PhD, what happens in your PhD to define yourself. What I would suggest is create a presence for yourself off campus. This could be starting an online side hustle. This could be starting an offline business, whatever works for you. There is a lot of potential in this. There is a lot of potential in this. There are several resources available on the internet. If you are looking to start something of your own offline, then this is the resource that you can try. Rahul, Rise with Rahul, he provides guidance with respect to offline start. If you are interested in an online space, like you want to start your YouTube channels, or you are interested in something with respect to trading or stuff like that, then you can go for Satish K videos. He gives online side hustle guidance. So the point I'm trying to make over here is start something of your own. If you are only relying on people in your PhD to validate your caliber, that's the greatest mistake that you will be making in your PhD. Okay, it doesn't matter whether it is full time or part time. At the end of the day, let's say my life expectancy is 100. I don't know whether it would be 100, but let's assume that my life expectancy is 100. PhD has how much? 5 years. Okay, on an average 5 years. When you have something which is of 5 years, that means it roughly contributes to 5% of your life. You cannot define 95% of your life based on what is happening in 5% of your life. That is the point of today's video. Your problems with focus is rising, it's increasing because your entire focus is on PhD. Okay, and considering the duration, considering the nature of this course, this is a bad move. It's a bad move. So I would definitely suggest building your off campus presence for now. One habit that I have been working in this year, okay, I've been working for it for past couple of months, but this year I definitely want to work on it, is destacking. So what we do generally is, for me, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. Okay? It is just how my brain is wired, and I have to finish the most important task in the morning. By chance, if I'm not able to do that, then it affects my psyche for all the other tasks. So have you seen cards? एक पत्ता उसमें से निकल जाता है, पूरा वो ढेर ही मतलब गिर जाता है जमीन पे. So the habit that I have been working is destacking, where I separate the impact of one task from another task. Just because I have woken up late today in the morning does not mean that my day would be going bad. It does not mean that my energy levels would be different. This is something that we have created in our own heads, and it is linked to a subconscious condition called perfectionism. But, anyways, I don't want to go into the detail of that. Just because somebody says something in your PhD should not be affecting your entire day, your entire mood. इतना importance किसी को क्यों दे? If you are doing that, that means you are giving so much importance to that event, to that person, that you are negating all the good things that you have done. I realized this quite early in my PhD, that if I rely on emotions arising from my own PhD, I'm not going to succeed. Get me into survival mode, forget thriving mode. It will not even get me into survival mode. So soon, by the end of my first year, I took admission in 2019 August. By end of my first year, I started a YouTube channel. Something to vent out my own feelings, something to start something of my own. The response that I got was overwhelming. 4,000 subscribers may not mean something to anyone, but to someone who has actually started it from zero, okay, and grown it organically without advertising, without paid marketing. I remember for first 2 years, I did not even share the links of my YouTube video with anyone. जो भी growth हुआ है, that has been completely organic, and now when I check the analytics, most of my videos are being recommended by YouTube itself. I'm not saying everyone has to start YouTube, but start something that can be monetized outside your PhD. This helplessness that you are seeing in yourself, okay, I'm seeing helplessness because that is the kind of messages and emails that I have been getting from all of you, whether resources are not there or no, whether things are not in place or this is a phase. Treat it like a phase. Okay, इसको पूरा पूरी जिंदगी मत बनाओ, ये पूरी जिंदगी है नहीं. Your supervisor will have a say in everything that you do. It's an ego and insecurity problem. Okay, it's not results problem. With most supervisors, the problem is never results. It is ego, it is insecurity. Then instead of confrontation, because confrontations usually hit the egos quite soon. So in such a case, find an alternative for yourself, create a support system outside. I would also suggest taking a break every now and then. Like, as per the fellowship guidelines, most of the institute fellowships as well as independent fellowships have 30 days of off. And I see scholars not utilizing it. You more working will not give rise to more results. कोई भी आता है कुत्ते की तरह भौंक के चला जाता है. We think that the problem is this and we are moving in that direction. Problem itself may be somewhere else. So you really need time to reflect and see where things are going. Also, one more thing I would like to suggest: avoid WhatsApp groups within your campus, especially where faculty are there, especially the ones where the hierarchical setup is there. Avoid those. Now you will say, how, what if there is an important announcement? If there is an important announcement, you will know about it. If it is that important, you will know about. Don't rely on these WhatsApp groups to mess with your sanity. Probably I should have done this before. So ऐसे लोगों को मौका ही मत दो, इनको अपनी जगह रहने दो. You be focused on what you want to achieve. You be focused on where you want to go. अपना path निकालते रहो. Don't get fixated in one thing. See, one thing I want to say. You may not like it, but let me just share it with you. अपना काम निकलवाओ. Don't get so fixated and what the other person is, what the other person is doing कि अपना काम ही भूल जाओ. I remember this was in my first year. I had an invigilation. Invigilation meaning research scholars are deployed with faculties during exams and all for supervision kind of during exams. One invigilator came, she was a faculty, and she said something to me, shouting in front of everyone and things like that. And students were sitting, and I didn't like it at all. So then I went and I confronted her once the exam was over, of course. And I was also fuming, too upset, and things like saying to myself, I'll show her what does she think of herself and this and that. One of my senior, he was observing me and he's asking me, but why do you want to change her? I started thinking, yes, he's right. Why do I want to change her? Is it my responsibility to change somebody else? उसको अपनी दुनिया में रहने दो. अपना काम निकालो. That is what I'm trying to say. Your problem with focus is because your focus is on changing that person. Your second problem is your validation is dependent on what people are doing in your PhD. Find an alternative life. Find an alternative path where you can focus. And if you're struggling too much in PhD, allocate your mental resources 60-40. 60% on the thing that you have been working, 40% on your PhD. I know this will sound cruel and we have to put our 100% in PhD. Put your 100% in PhD if the ROI that you get, if whatever you get in return is also 100%. If it is not 100%, give effort in proportion to that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your expectations are correct, but they are in a wrong place. It's a wrong place to expect good behavior in a fish market. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your expectations are correct. The person or the circumstances that you have put it onto, that is wrong. So shift your expectations to the right place. उतना ही करो बस. If you are able to do this, you are sorted with respect to your PhD. One important thing that I wish to always say is focus on what you will do after your PhD also, because most of the scholars, their intention is a job, okay, and it's a good enough and decent enough goal to live a good life. In that case, the kind of interviews that are going on in today's time, kind of skill set that is being asked on part of a research scholar is not just PhD. That time is gone when PhD used to be a criteria for employment. Now, a candidate who can get money for the institute, that candidate is being valued more. Write a grant. Write a grant in your PhD. I'm not asking you to submit it. Write and keep. So when you are giving an interview, You can say that you have written this grant and you are planning to submit it and get funding. So that will put you at a higher level compared to other candidates. Especially if you are in BITS, there are a lot of research writing programs, there are a lot of grant writing programs. I must have not participated in most of the other extracurricular activities, but I have definitely attended and participated in grant writing workshops. The sooner we realize this, the faster we can walk towards that path. Also, I think it's important to understand what kind of a person are you, whether for you the speed is important or quality. It is possible to have both, but that condition is quite rare. Okay. If, say, suppose you are taking admission for PhD now, you will be judged at every minute by supervisor, by different other stakeholders also. You have to decide what works for you. I have seen scholars who get publications fast. Okay, वो फर्स्ट ईयर में ही लिखना शुरू करते हैं. By the time it is second year or max third year, they have one publication. There is another set of scholars who work on novel problems or problem statement, and the publication doesn't come at the onset, but it will be in a better journal, in more reputed journals than the first one. So you have to decide in which category you fall. For a long time, like I published my first paper in my fifth year. Till fifth year, I have been hearing people saying about me, there is no paper, she's not working, this and that. Whether you fall in the first category, no category is bad and no category is good. It depends on you where you want to work. If you are looking to publish faster, then you publish faster. You may not be able to target top journals, but your job gets done, your PhD will get over faster, and you will be able to give job interviews faster. So which lane you are in, that you have to decide for yourself and work accordingly. See, I know this is one of the first kinds of video that I've done, like means talking heart to heart. I felt it was required considering the messages I have been getting and the mails I have been getting. Scholars are in pretty bad shape, especially with respect to mental health. I remember when I had joined PhD, in my first year, I got pneumonia. I mean, I have never gotten pneumonia or stuff like this in my entire life. So, a lot of things at physical level, I'm speaking about, will crop up because of the stress in your PhD. There is only one person who can deal with it, that is you. Avoid people at all costs who deliberately try to harm you, or deliberately try to put you down, or deliberately try to, invalidate your achievements. They are not worth your attention, they are not worth your love, and they are not worth your respect. अच्छे से पेश आओ, be graceful. I would say be respectful, but do not disclose anything. So that's all I wanted to say. It really feels good to film such a video. I have never done this. Okay, most of my videos are means I'm explaining a scholarship. It is to the point, talk, talk, talk. But this is the first time I think I'm speaking heart to heart. Let me know if you want more of this. Today's video is kind of an experiment in 2020. Take care of your health, take care of your mental health, stay peaceful, stay happy. Bye.